According to Google, a cash crop is produced for commercial value rather than the use by the grower. A coffee cash crop is produced for one or many different companies to use and produce coffee beans from that cash crop. Coffee originated in Ethiopia, thought to be discovered in the 11th century. Coffee has evolved in many different ways. For instance, where we drink coffee are no longer called coffee houses, they're called cafes. Also, over 70 countries in the world grow coffee, and how much we drink coffee has evolved. In Australia alone in 2012, we consumed over 2.1 billion cups of coffee. Now that's a lot of dough. Each year, about 8.46 million metric tons of coffee are produced each year, and the top 3 countries that produce coffee are Brazil, Vietnam, and Indonesia. And in Australia, the gross domestic profit of coffee would be about 63% on average per year. Some of the places around the world that grow coffee cash crops are Burkina Faso, Southeast Asia, and Latin or South America. In order for the coffee to be grown, the temperature should be about 18 to 28 degrees Celsius due to the coffee being sensitive. There should be 125 to 250 centimeters of rainfall. The soil should be loamy on a well-drained hill between 450 to 1800 meters altitude. A place like Cardamom Hill is perfect. Once the coffee bush has reached its fullness and it is bright red, it is ready to be harvested. Once the cherries have been picked, they are taken to a coffee mill and pulped, which removes the outside skin. The coffee is then sent to a drying rack, which is on a large platform on a roof. Here the sun can dry the beans to perfection with the right moisture content. Now the coffee is ready to be hulled. The parchment surrounding the green coffee bean is removed. Now the bean is ready for roasting. There are 2 ways of processing. There is the dry method where the berries are dried in the sun, then pounded to remove the outer cover, and then there's the wet method where the berries are fermented, washed, dried, and roasted. Cash crops are grown for the sole purpose of profit, whereas the farmers do this for a living and to support their families. The big companies growing a massive cash crop put the small farmers out of business and can't support their families. But saying that, the companies that grow these coffee crops usually tend to give some of their produce to the local community and areas. After extensive research, I could not find one product of coffee that came from a cash crop available here in Australia. Sustainable crop production is a way of growing or raising food in an ecological and ethical responsible manner. There are other alternatives to cash cropping. There is multi-cropping, where you plant multiple different species on the one piece of land, or you can minimize the use of pesticides, which will benefit you or the product. We can also focus on the health of the soil to improve the quality of the product, and also practice conserving water by putting in a suitable irrigation system. There are many different ways to improve on cash cropping. One of these ways is to multi-crop. This is where you plant multiple species on the one piece of land. Multi-cropping involves crop rotation, where you rotate the crops to different places season to season. By doing this, makes the soil richer and gives the soil a break, which means better quality produce in the next time the soil is used. Also, by multi-cropping, it increases the yield, decreases pest susceptibility, and increases biodiversity.